we have the guitar body jointed up yesterday, obviously, as you've probably just watched, and we're ready to go. It's a good way to blunt a nice sharp chisel. Okay. Time to go. We're going to be doing some carving later to bring that all in. I misplaced a book. Okay, I've marked out the centreline on the fretboard and the position of the nut. This is a very good quality, very accurate ruler. Which I use for this job. Now we're going for a 25-inch or 635mm scale length, which is midway between Fender and Gibson. In other words, it's the Paul Reed Smith scale, and it's a bloody good scale. That. Slowly we're getting more and more like the usual workshop with tools all over the place. Nice and stable. This saw's got that file glued in place just to keep it absolutely square and straight. And this lovely old Sheffield steel. Bought for 20p at a car boot probably. What am I doing? While I work on the frets, I want the headstock wings to be glued and dry. So that will mean by the time I've finished the frets I can get on with the next phase without waiting for stuff to dry. So I've pre-marked the slots out with the first saw, which means that this saw has got something to copy and follow and make life easier. You don't want to slip with one of these. I've put some masking tape on the saw blade to mark how deep I want this to cut, and that means that I'll cut a curve that is a uniform depth all the way along. And now we go. Now, and there we have it. I've built this neck with a very slight bow, very slight in the middle, and when I put the frets in under tension, it's going to flatten it out. The top of every slot has a slight angle cut into it with a triangular file, and this basically does two things. It basically makes it much easier to put the fret in, because the fret's got a channel that it wants to, it's guiding it in towards the slot, as it were. But it also means that at some point in the future, and this is the more important thing, when somebody comes to refret the guitar in 50 or 60 years, it's not going to rip all the grain out. And I like to think that if I take the time to do this, some other guy will as well, and the refretting jobs that we get every now and then will be easier. You've got to be careful as well that you don't damage the nicely sounded fretboard. The glue is not to hold the frets in. The glue is to fill any holes left after the frets have been hammered in. Basically it means that if there's a bunch of holes underneath each fret, it loosens the neck up just a little bit. It's not something that anybody would really notice. But I do. It's just a slight tuning stability or instability. So we fill all the gaps, basically. It just means that the whole thing is one big solid lump, and that is always better than something shot full of holes, unless the holes are structural and meant to be there. what holds the frets in is the pressure of me hammering in the slot and the tangs, etc. Okay, frets are drying, frets are in,